Welcome to the Ardor SEO Real Estate Marketing Podcast. Join us as we explore the latest marketing trends in real estate, discuss effective tactics for driving leads, and provide actionable advice from some of the top realtors in the US to help you streamline and skyrocket your real estate marketing efforts. Tune in to the Ardor SEO Real Estate Marketing Podcast and take your real estate business to the next level.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Ardor Real Estate Marketing Podcast. My name is Nicholas Pillay. I'm a growth strategist here at Ardor. And today we switching seats a little bit. Our guest today will be Tomas Fonseca. So Tomas Fonseca is a growth manager at Icons of Real Estate with over 5 years of experience in the world of marketing. Icons of Real Estate is a massive platform that enables real estate agents to boost their production and run a more efficient real estate business. Tomas has worn quite a few different hats over the years and is deeply passionate about helping realtors exceed their business goals. So welcome to the show, Tomas.
Thank you very much, Nicholas, and thank you for introducing me in such a celestial way. I feel more brightened now.
You're welcome. So first of all, the question we love to start with is, what's your story? How did you get here?
So first of all, I was the host of the podcast, and then I was demoted to guest. I don't know if this comes as a compliment or not. But I'm happy to be here as a guest as well, and took great pleasure on interviewing the other guests that we had on the podcast so far. But happy to tell a little bit about myself. So Nicholas mentioned that I have 5 years of digital marketing experience. That might sound not like a lot, but it's because I'm also not very old, so it's not like I can make up years of experience on that. So I'm graduated in marketing, and I've always been involved in the marketing industry. In the beginning, even working for Nintendo and trading platforms before I got to find my genius in real estate. But in the past few years, I've been working alongside helping real estate agents reach predictable growth. And it has been an incredible journey. I'm a globetrotter myself, so I've never kind of lived in one place. I always move around between Barcelona, Budapest, Vietnam. Now I'm in Brazil, and looking forward for what's coming next.
All right, that's great. And you're Portuguese, right? You're from Portugal.
Oh yeah, and I'm Portuguese. I forgot to mention that part. I'm Portuguese, but the English that is coming to me, it's more almost like as a first language. And even some Americans, they do think I'm from the other from like a different, like a weird state or something because of my accent. So I'll just say yes, I'm from there.
That sounds great. And yeah, so we can definitely see that you're passionate about digital marketing, and you have quite an extensive experience. Working at Nintendo, working at different finance companies. Now that you find yourself in the real estate space, right? Digital marketing, as you've said before, is incredibly important. So can you tell us a bit more about that? Why is it so important for realtors to have some kind of digital marketing plan or invest in digital marketing?
So being a real estate agent or running any type of a real estate business, being that even referrals or investing, it is hard, okay? We all know the statistic, and if you don't know, Nicholas, now you will, that 87% of real estate agents fail, okay? I think it's within the first 2 years. And this is a daunting statistic for someone that wants to get in the business. Like, one thing is becoming a professional basketball athlete, okay? We all know that there's a slight chance to that, but it's almost the same chance to becoming successful in the real estate business. Mm-hmm. And real estate agents, because of the barrier of entry to the industry is so little, we still get new real estate agents every month, every quarter, even every day. And they come to, with false expectations, and they don't realize how to specifically run their business, okay? When it comes to digital marketing, okay, which doesn't go to the extension of sales and relationships itself, digital marketing is seen like as the base, okay, as the bare minimum that an agent should have and take care of, okay. So for me, one thing is those traditional agents that they've been working on referrals for the past 30 years, and they already have an existing clientele, and they don't need to worry about their marketing. But the others, if there's anyone starting or anyone that wants to boost their business, like digital marketing is the way to go.
Yeah, and even if they don't have that referral network or that client base, investing in digital marketing, having a website, having those kind of things can help you build that, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have what we call like an SOI, so a sphere of influence, you create one. And you
Yeah.
need to create one. There's multiple ways that you can do that by, leveraging existing relationships or even going to networking events. But also with digital marketing, you can get to places that you wouldn't be able to get in another way. It's like kind of like when you see drone videos, you'd be like, how can a human film that? I was like, no, a drone can, but now you can see it, how it looks. And the digital marketing is more, yeah, you can reach that person that you would never be able to reach
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah, 100%. And another point that I've always heard is that when you invest in digital marketing, the business can keep running even when you're not in the office because it's accessible 24/7. So that kind of builds on your point of you can reach people that you otherwise would have missed.
Yeah, exactly. And when you say invest, so we're clear to the audience, invest doesn't necessarily mean money. It can mean time as well. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that they're either cost effective or even free of cost that require some time that can make an outstanding difference to how you're running your real estate business.
100%, 100%. So when we dive a little bit deeper into digital marketing, a lot of people know that there's kind of two elements of it, right? There's having a website and there is social media. So let's start with the website specifically. Is there any advice that you can give or any insight that you can give on the key things that realtors should include in their website?
For sure. So the first perspective on having a website is that most agents have it wrong. Unfortunately, we're trying to change that. But so most brokerages, as you know, Nicholas, like Keller Williams, eXp Realty, Coldwell Banker, Compass, what they do with their agents is that they generate the front end of the CRM into a website. So all the brokers, they offer a different CRM, and then the back end is the CRM, and then the front end of that CRM is then a website, and it's a self-generated website based solely on a subdomain. Okay, although this can be considered as a website, it doesn't get much love for me, and it doesn't get much love for Google as well, for many reasons. But first of all, the website is not owned by the agent. Okay, so these agents that they're saying like, oh, I have a website, take a look at this, and then they show like a Keller Williams generated website. That's not your website, my friend. That's the brokerage self-generated website for you. If they leave the brokerage for any reason, their website will disappear. It will like poof, like it's not even a magic trick. It's not even magic. You'll like die. So having a website is definitely important because it's an asset. Okay. And if the asset that you claim that it's yours doesn't belong to you, well, guess what? It's not yours. So investing in assets, you should always make sure that the assets belong to you. Okay, so having your own domain, even for example, for you, Nicholas, imagine like nicholasknowsrealestate.com, instead of nicholas.pile.century21.com. Like what sort of branding are you getting with that? Okay. So the website, first of all, it's an asset that you should own. Okay. This is maybe the most important thing that I would have to say here, because it's something that you should own and invest, because you don't know if you're happy in a brokerage or if you're happy even running your own independent brokerage. You never know if you're going to move to one place or other. And if you own the asset, you can always take the asset with you. And having a website, and you know this as well, as you're an expert in SEO, that Google hates new websites. A new website is like the new kid on the block, and Google is kind of the famous sports athlete, and he doesn't want anything to do with you. Why would he? You're not cool. You're not cool enough. You don't have any authority. You don't have any history. Why would he talk to you? Why would he introduce you to his friends? So it's something that it takes time. So website is one of the best assets to invest in with time, and to get consistent results over that effort. Because you were saying before, website is going to be the employee, that you're going to have that's going to work most. It
Yeah.
works 24/7, is capturing leads 24/7, is showing information 24/7, and it always be your most faithful employee as well, because it's not
Yeah.
it's not leaving.
Yeah. And in addition to that, just to touch on what you mentioned earlier, the brand value that it can give your business is quite notable, right? Because you're no longer Tomas.exp, you are Tomas sells real estate. You can create a name, you can create a logo, you can create a brand voice, and you can use your website to build and expand that brand. And when you just have a subdomain, you're not really on that path, right?
Yeah.
You're limited in where you can grow. So with your experience with Icons of Real Estate and helping your realtors grow, is that something that you see, like everyone that comes through, the first piece of advice is invest in or own your website, own your domain, and build a brand?
Oh, for sure. It's almost one of the first things that we take care of when we partner up with agents is exactly that, having them own their own assets, having them own their own business. Because in real estate, at the end of the day, every agent is a business owner. It's a very commission based industry, right? Like you're not no one really has a salary. Well, there's some brokerages that have salaries, but most of the agents, they're on commission. You kind of need to make your own brand, and just to continue developing on the website. It's a way that you can control the message that you want to come across to whoever is visiting. Okay, and for an agent listening right now, you can try and go ahead and Google your name. Okay, Google your name, and you can even put real estate after it, or you can Google your name and then put your city. If you don't have a website, usually the first thing that comes up is your LinkedIn. Okay, for some reason that I don't know why, LinkedIn comes up first of Facebook, but it will come up your social media. So it will come up LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay, so imagine the difference of professionalism that you would make if people are searching out your name and the city, or searching out your name in real estate agent, and instead of your LinkedIn profile, which by the way, you probably are not keeping that updated, it shows up your website with a message that you have complete control of call to actions that you are inputting on the website to capturing leads. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Any agent that doesn't have a website right now is not treating their real estate business seriously.
So as you said, a lot of people have these profiles, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, but they're not really updating them. So does that play a major role in building your online presence as a realtor? Should realtors be prioritizing their social media as well?
Yeah, it's not even prioritizing in a way that you should spend more time here or spend more time there. It's again what I was talking about, like the minimum effort that any real estate agent should have. Because if their LinkedIn is not updated, might as well delete it. Because if the information about who they are, about what they do, is not streamlined across all the platforms, right? Across the social media, even across like listing websites, even like Zillow and Realtor.com. If the information is not streamlined there, if it's not the same, if you have a different phone number here than a different phone number there, like it's gonna confuse. Okay, and we have a saying in the marketing industry is that if you confuse, you lose. So it's super important, even more than being actively consistent and consistently like creating content, is to have a good profile with enough good information on them.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And you don't want things to be conflicting. You don't want people to go to LinkedIn, see one number, go to Facebook, see another number. If you change cities, one says you're in Texas, one says you're in Miami.
Exactly.
You're going to confuse people, and they're not going to know how to find you, and they'll just go to Zillow. And that's what we don't really want. So with that being said, social media, super important. Website, super important. Another aspect that a lot of realtors may be considering that sort of plays a bit of both website and social media is this concept of this new evolving trend of podcasting and blogging. for realtors. So how does that really play into realtors? What's the point of having a blog and podcast? Does it help with, with the search engines? Does it help with finding potential buyers and sellers? Or where's the real benefit for that?
Yeah, so creating content is nothing new, right? We know that creating content is king, right? But even when it comes to podcasts, I think podcasts, they have been a trend already for some time. I think if you had a podcast in 2012, maybe you were like super cool. Right now, having a podcast, it's quite open to anyone. But creating a content is basically a way of positioning yourself as an authority, okay? As a leader. As for example, on a podcast, Nicholas, if I have a podcast about wood carving, and you're going to spend a weekend in Vermont, and you're going to do a wood carving workshop there. Actually, I'm not sure they do wood carving workshops there. Don't take my word for it. But imagine you do, and you have a question about wood carving, and you know me. Maybe you haven't talked to me in 2 years, but you know that I have a podcast because we're friends. We're friends on Facebook. Who are you going to call? You're going to call me. You're going to call me because you're going to see like, okay, like Tomas, he has a podcast about wood carving. He sure knows about wood carving. So if an agent has a podcast about real estate, even covering like topics of like market updates, market trends, even interviewing buyers and sellers to tell them about their experience, or even introducing like industry partners like marketing agencies or even lenders or builders. Okay, you're positioning yourself as an authority. Okay, as the go-to person on the real estate, and even you can go to, imagine you have a podcast in Kansas City, as it's very localized and to a city. It's not going to take much for someone to find out who the real estate podcast is hosting, right? And people will call you. Okay, so when it comes to the podcast, we like to look at three different pillars of value that we bring with it. Okay, the one is boosting your personal brand. Obviously, with the podcast, you have additional content that you can promote to your audience, to your sphere of influence, and even when you're lead generating. Okay, it's much cooler if you're out in a barbecue and your cousin introduced someone that is looking to buy a house, and instead of you giving a card, a templated card that you got out of Canvas, it's much cooler if you actually say, oh, I actually have a podcast which I tell about market updates, and you should subscribe to it. You're seen as much more, oh, okay, this guy's an expert. Is not some other guy that just handing out business cards, and which should probably end up in the trash or in the laundry. So it's a way of positioning yourself and establishing a strong business brand, and then it will boost your sales as well. Okay, so if you're gonna have more connections of it, if you're gonna be seen as more of an authority, it would automatically boost your sales, even get you on more conversations, and even the conversation that you already had, they're gonna have a better closing conversion because they trust you more now. They trust you more because they see you as the expert. And then the third pillar of value that I like to think of is on expanding your network. So networking with agents has always been and always will be a way of getting more business as well. Even that coming from referring business, or in other ways of training, of setting up networking events. There's a multitude of ways that you can do with an expanded network. So you see this urge of real estate agents having podcasts because they see the value that comes from it. Okay, and right now it's a very good decision for yourself. You can you can try just an exercise. You can try and see, you put your city name and then real estate podcast, and usually there might be one or two where, well, if you're in a bigger city, it might be more than that. But if you're in a smaller city, there's only going to be one or two tops. Okay, and it's not going to take much for you to to be the most famous real estate podcast in the area. Imagine
Yeah.
like in Kansas,
Yeah.
I was saying this because I was talking with an agent in Kansas, and we're setting a podcast with her. We Googled, and there were like 2 Kansas City real estate podcasts. That will probably take 2 or 3 months to be already the best Kansas City real estate podcast. And there's great opportunity in that.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So podcasts, really good. Website, updated social media. Those are some of the best ways to create and maintain your strong online presence. So you mentioned that you did this for a realtor that you're helping. So could you tell us a little bit more about the icons of real estate, what it is, what you do, how you help these real estate agents grow their business?
Yeah, sure, Nicholas. So with icons of real estate, it came to light sort of 2 years ago. Okay, it came as one of the projects actually from Ardor SEO, and we wanted to build a platform for that agents can trust to increase their business, right? So we had podcasts, we had webinars, we even had virtual summits, and we're even organizing another one that is coming in September. Okay, and we just wanted to add value and show agents that they're not alone in this fight, right? It's kind of the always the 87% that I told you about. The 87% of agents fail. We kind of want to disrupt that. We know that the real estate industry is very large, and Marvel is not going to make a movie about me saying that Tomas saved the real estate industry. Look at him. I know that we're not going to do that. But if we can disrupt it even just a little bit, or even take in the agents that we're working with, and even completely switch that 87% of failure, look more in the bright side and be like 87% of success. Imagine how much change can we do with that? And then we saw this opening in the real estate market, and we decided to feed our digital prowess to a team of agents that we are assembling. And right now we're growing on a national level, so we have a nationwide team of agents across 11 different states, and yeah, it's going well. We're growing every week, almost every day, and making our agents successful. So building the perfect path to, although I'm not a perfectionist, I don't like the word perfect, but I don't find a better adjective to it, which is what we are building, which is the perfect path to success. Because, real estate is hard. But if you're partnering up with someone that is covering, the minimum grounds of it, of course, what we mentioned in the beginning, social media, website, and all of that, there are the minimum grounds. The podcast, it might be like an extra to it. It's not minimum. It's not like every real estate agent should have a podcast. It's more of an extra. But if we're covering the minimum grounds and showing them support within their business while aligning them with local mentors, they're going to be closer to be successful than to be a failure. Okay. So this is what we've been doing.
Yeah. So if I'm a realtor and I want to get a hold of you, I want to get in touch, I want to be part of the Icons of Real Estate, how do I do that?
Yeah, so you can find Icons of Real Estate on Instagram. Okay, as you can imagine, the handle is Icons of Real Estate. We got there first, and we're not selling the handle. So you can hit us up there, and you say that you heard Tomas on the podcast and you want to talk to him right now, and I'll get our social media manager to ping me immediately. You can also reach me at Tomas at iconsofrealestate.com. Tomas is Tomas, a Portuguese name. Okay, so it's without the H. I'm known as the H-less Thomas. And yeah, that's pretty much the best ways to reach me at. I'm also on LinkedIn. If you get Tomás Fonseca, you'll find me there. I do have my updated profile there, so don't worry about any mistakes happening. Okay. And yeah, and if you're an agent looking to kind of step up your business and run a more efficient business and become more owner of what you're trying to build instead of building something for others, you can talk to me, and I think we'll have a very fruitful conversation.
Yeah, and that was, I think, some really great insights on building, maintaining your online presence, building value for your business, investing in assets for your business instead of just having a subdomain or something else. So I think that's been some really great insights. But I think that's everything for us today, Thomas. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
all the
Nicholas.
details, all your contact details, I'm sure we will include it in the description. But thank you so much for your time. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, we could go on and on about this, as the world of digital marketing can be extended to these little different pieces of it. But I think we touched a lot of good points here, and I appreciate you inviting me to the podcast here.
Perfect. I'm sure we'll have you again soon. All right. But thanks everyone for watching. Bye.
Thank you.